Hi, this is Alessio. Hope you're well. In this video, we're going to ask the question, has gold potentially topped? Now, I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that in just a few moments. Before I do that, though, let me just quickly say that I've been bullish on gold, really from when gold was trading just under $1,300. So in our member videos, we've been bullish on gold from just around the 1275 under the 1300 region here. And I said if gold can break through that resistance of 1300, that could lead to significantly higher levels. And you can see that gold has managed to now so far rally about 22%. It's been a tremendous rally, has accelerated in this kind of parabolic rise. So it's been a tremendously nice rally, 22% in gold. But the question is, have we now potentially made a top? Now, let me just quickly say that when I say top, I mean an intermediate top, because I think the long-term potential of gold is still pretty good. I still think that long-term, gold has the potential to go back and test previous resistance of about 1900 to 2000 levels back in 2011, for example. So long-term, I still see gold as potentially moving further higher. However, I think in the short term, we could see a temporary top, or shall we say a temporary pullback to some key support levels. And I think that once we reach those support levels, that could set up for another buying opportunity. So why do I say that gold is potentially making a top here? Three reasons. Number one, this is a weekly chart of gold, as you can see here. Take a look at this pattern that's setting up here on gold right now. This pattern, as I'm sure some of you recognize, is what's called a shooting star candlestick pattern. In fact, as you know from chart analysis, the shooting star candlestick pattern, especially when it happens at the end of a rally. So when you get a rally in the market, this could be any market, by the way, and then when you see this kind of pattern, this kind of shooting star candle pattern, when there's a long wick followed by a small body here, again, when this happens at the end of a rally, especially when you have overbought conditions, which I'll explain to you in a few moments, then usually that's a bearish signal, especially when it's followed by another bearish candle like the one you see here. Now, whether you want to wait for a bearish candle or not depends on how aggressive or conservative you are in your analysis and your trading. Now, so that's one thing we're looking at. It seems that, gold seems to be putting in this sort of a shooting star candle, although I should say it's a bit early to call that because it is today is Tuesday. We need to wait until the end of the week. So we need to wait until at least Friday to see how gold finishes. But if by Friday we still have a shooting star candle pattern, that also increases the odds that we could be setting up for a potential drop and indeed a potential topping pattern. The second reason why I think that gold may be forming a top here is because of momentum, or more precisely, momentum dissipation. Take a look at this. You will see that this pulse that fired off back in June, by the looks of it, has had a pretty decent run. The average pulse signal lasts about 10 bars. So the momentum here, the momentum has run now for several weeks, about 10 weeks now. And this has pushed gold significantly higher, you can see here. So I think that because the momentum has probably run its course, and because I think the momentum could be about to dissipate pretty soon now, I think the momentum could be about to dissipate soon in the coming weeks, that means that gold could also potentially drop from here. Let me give you an example. The previous pulse that fired off back in December of last year, that pushed gold also further higher, as you can see here. And when the pulse momentum dissipated, so as you can see, dissipation of momentum occurred here. And when the momentum began to drop, that also correlated with the drop in gold as well. Now, of course, that does not mean that every time momentum dissipates, that price has to also go down. Sometimes when momentum dissipates, gold can also go sideways as well. So just to let you know that at the moment, there are two factors. One is the shooting star. One is the momentum potential dissipation, which could happen pretty soon. And the final thing I'm looking at is the LT acceleration extreme signal here. So it is an indicator of just developed and could be released in the next few weeks or the next couple of months. And essentially when we get the LT acceleration extreme signal, now this isn't actually a moderate signal. This is an orange signal, which means that there is now about a potential 50 to 60% probability that we could see this market now reversing direction and potentially falling here. The LT acceleration signals that have the higher probability are the red and purple ones. For example, here's a red extreme signal that occurred on Bitcoin just about a couple of months back in June, as you can see here. And that coincided with the top that you see there on Bitcoin prices. So as you can see, that red acceleration extreme coincided with that top in Bitcoin, and from that point on pretty much dropped, as you can see here. The orange acceleration extreme, now that's a moderate signal, but still it can often result in temporary reversals in the price, as you can see right there. So bottom line is this, guys, we have now, so this is a chart of gold, we have now about three factors coming into play. Again, we got the shooting star pattern. Again, we'll have to wait until the end of the week to see if the shooting star pattern is still there. We've got potential loss of momentum coming soon, and also the LT acceleration orange moderate signal here. So the bottom line is, as long as gold remains below its previous highs, this recent high of 1555, and if it can break and close below 1492, that's the key level I'm looking for, by the way. If gold can break 1492, which is an easy number to remember, 1492 with Christopher Columbus. So if we break that level, 1492, and close below it, again on a daily chart or a weekly chart, that increases the potential probability of the gold market dropping down to the levels that indeed Charlie and I were discussing. Charlie also was looking for a pullback or a drop, and I think we could drop to 1400 on gold, which of course could become another buying opportunity down the line. So that's the key level I'm looking for. If that level breaks, we could be setting up for a drop to the 21 weekly average or into the 1400 levels.